Let's go get some gas. I have been hit by some cars in the past, and the car accidents had left me with PTSD when I'm a passenger, but I'm not a huge fan of driving in particular. In one accident, I was probably 17 years old. I was looking down at the ground because I didn't have a working radio in my car. I had a boombox in my car, and it was running on batteries, and I had a CD in there that was playing. In fact, it was the Better Than Ezra CD, and I had wanted to skip a song, so I bent down to skip the song on the boombox, and I like slowly crashed into somebody. The people who I hit were incredibly nice people, because they said, "Can your husband fix this?" And I said, I'm 17, and my dad might be able to fix it. He's a body man. And I told them my name and phone number and everything, and I don't think anything ever came of it. I think that actually I went to school with their daughter, I'm pretty sure. So they never did anything. I was super grateful for them and very thankful. My next car accident, probably about 19 years old, and I was going to the after hours. So my roommate was 21, I was 19, and so I had left our apartment, and I was going over Cedar Hill, and I know that the speed limit changes there because when I was learning to drive, my mom had told me, "Hey, watch the speed limit here," because it goes from like 40 to 35 to 25, like really, really quick. And she said the cops like to sit there and watch for people. And so in my mind, I had thought, I need to make sure that I'm slowing down here. And I was going 35. I had got to the 35 area, so that is between Turquoise and San Francisco. So as I was coming up there, I saw this red Honda pull up to the stop sign, and I saw her look one way, and it was not my way, and then she pulled out. She didn't look my way, and I ended up T-boning her going probably about 30 miles an hour, and it was an older woman, and she looked over at me and said some few choice cuss words, and I was 19 at the time, so I was pretty scared. It was a really scary thing, because I hit her and I thought I caused the accident, but she failed to look both ways at a stop sign, and so really it was her fault. And my seatbelt was across me like this, and when I had hit, I jerked forward so hard that I had cracked ribs and bruised my chest all through here, like it looked like I had necrosis, because it looked like the skin was dying on me. I declined to go to the hospital because I didn't know I should have, and I just wanted to get home, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. That was my second car accident. My third car accident was probably the worst car accident, because it was about a year later, so I was 20 years old, and I was driving home later at night. I had gone out for karaoke, so I had left the pool hall probably about 11:30 or 12 o'clock, something like that. When I left, I lived on the corner of 43rd Avenue and Union Hills, and there's an apartment complex right there, but at the time there was also a Chevron, and and a mobile station across Union Hills. And I had gone through Union Hills to go to the other corner from my apartment in my car. I was going to go to the mobile station so that I could go ahead and pick up like just some drinks for the night, like, you know, sodas or whatever, and some snacks, and kind of call it a night. And when I went through the light, I looked up and I saw a green light. So I was just continuing my path, and the next thing I knew, I thought I hit a brick wall. I couldn't make sense of how I would have hit a brick wall, because I thought I was driving on the road. That's sort of how my mind processed it. But as I was coming to, I noticed that I was in my car and the airbag had come out. So I'm thinking what it was is I didn't hit a brick wall, I hit the airbag. I say I was coming to because from my previous accident, I didn't wear a seatbelt because I cracked my ribs and it hurt so bad. So I figured I got my accidents all out of my way. I never was going to be in another one. And I was in this one. And without the seatbelt on, when I was hit, I slammed forward into the airbag with full force. And with full force from the airbag, I was shot out the driver's side window right here, head first. And the person who I had once again hit, but it wasn't my fault. They had just robbed the gas station, and they did a beer dash. So they ran in for the beer and ran out to the car and took off. And their getaway route was an illegal left-hand turn right in front of me. So when I hit them, most of the boys in the car scattered and ran. And I found out that they didn't have insurance. I was sent to the hospital on that one, regardless of whatever I wanted, because I was so injured, and I was hearing glass coming out of my head for about a week after that, because it hadn't broken the skin, but it was embedded in my skin, and so it was just sort of growing out of my head. And then I had a walnut-sized lump under my left knee because my knee hit the dash as I was hit. My face was swollen from hitting the airbag. I had suffered from traumatic brain injury after that, to where I have a hard time with focus and with comprehension and retaining information. I can follow what you're saying when you're saying it most of the time, or I can at least look like I am. I'm not always, and I try, but I can't. My brain just doesn't allow it anymore. That was the third car accident that I was physically in. After that, my car was parked and I was hit 3 times. 3 different times in 3 different cars. And then I had come up to Flagstaff to work. This is my 4th car accident that I was in. I used to work for Gateway Computers as a sales associate, and I was helping them open up the locations in the Office Max stores, and lo and behold, Flagstaff had a Office Max that was opening up, and that was near my family, so I wanted to come up here and man the store and help open it and get it all squared away so that I could see my family and stay with them. So as I was on my way home, I was in front of NAU campus on Milton. As I got in front of NAU, there was a giant traffic jam. The lady in front of me slammed on her brakes really hard, and I slammed on my brakes really hard, and I was this close to hitting her. I mean, I was like right on top of her, but I never felt a hit, but I stopped in enough time to look in my rear view mirror, and lo and behold, the guy behind me, I kid you not, I could see him coming up behind me, and it was like slow motion. He was looking down on the floor. I kid you not. And he ended up hitting me full force at probably like 25 or 35 miles an hour. And then that sent me slamming into the lady in front of me. So I was sandwiched between the two cars, because then when I hit her, I rocked back and hit him again. And it ended up, that one sent me to the hospital as well. I had been through enough accidents at that point that I knew I needed to be checked out. Good times. So I have a bit of self-diagnosed PTSD. People laugh at me. Scott will laugh at me, and Samantha laughs at me, but I will go out of my way to go off of the main road and travel the side roads to get wherever I need to go, so that I can go at lower speed limits and hopefully less traffic. And for me, that helps me to keep my anxiety levels lower when I drive. And I try really hard not to drive unless I have to. Like today, I have to go get my medical marijuana, and Scott can't go do that for me. So since I'm going to be out doing that, I told him I would go ahead and get the shavings for the chickens, and that helps him out because he's always out and about driving, and I can take a lot of side roads to get to where I need to go and not be too worried about a whole lot of traffic, I hope. So that's my accident story and why I'm not a big fan of driving altogether, let alone driving in a lot of traffic. So I try to do it as little as I have to, unless I'm on open road with not that many people around. And then I truly love to drive. I just get so freaked out around other people's capabilities or incapabilities. So when you see me freaking out with Scott, my PTSD, it gets the better of me. Maybe if I document it, it'll help me because I'll be more aware. So that's my story.